All right, I am going to go ahead and get us started. Hi, everyone. Welcome. See a lot of people in the audience. Very happy to have you all here today. I am Morgan Science. I'm the Senior Product Education Manager here at Jotform. Very glad that you could be here for Power Your Payments with Jotform and Square. I am joined today by Agatha Quijes, Partner Manager at Square. Over the next 10 or so minutes, Agatha is going to give you more information about Square functionality and benefits that come together to simplify your business operations. Then I will be giving you a demo of using Jotform and Square together, and we'll have some time for live questions at the end. I'm going to be keeping an eye on questions, so please feel free to share those as they come up. I'll be able to answer some behind the scenes as Agatha is speaking, and then again, whatever we need to save for the end, we will. But again, share those at any time. And without further ado, I'm going to pass things over to Agatha to get us started.
Thank you, Morgan. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here with you all today. As Morgan shared, I'll go through a pretty quick overview of Square, and then we'll dive into a demo of the integration. So great to see you all. My name is Agatha. I work on the Square Partnerships team. At Square, we're all about making payments and business operations as seamless as possible so you can focus on delivering exceptional service to your customers. Whether you're managing payments in person, online, or somewhere in between, Square offers a range of solutions tailored to your business needs. So today we'll walk through how Jotform and Square together can help simplify and streamline your business. All right, so here's our agenda for today. We'll go over a quick payment solutions overview, review key features and benefits of Square, talk about our hardware products, discuss our Jotform integration functionality, and then touch on some special offers to help get you started before segueing into our demo. Alrighty, so first let's take a look at Square's payment solutions. With Square, you can focus on your customers more and on admin less. We offer one platform for accepting payments wherever you are, as I mentioned earlier, in office, online, on the go, or all of the above. So together, Jotform and Square make it easy to offer flexible payments, sync your data in real time, and manage everything from one place. Square simplifies payment processing by offering a fully managed payments platform. So there's no more needing separate tools or services for payment handling. With Square, your payment processing should be streamlined under one roof, including handling refunds, disputes, and reporting to provide a consistent customer experience. With Jotform, we offer a variety of payment methods to make it easier for your customers to pay in the way that they prefer. These include Afterpay, ACH, and Cash App Pay. Afterpay, also known as ClearPay in the UK, allows your customers to break up payments into 4 installments, making it easier for them to manage their finances while still receiving the services they need. For larger transactions, ACH is a cost-effective and secure way to receive those payments. And with the rise of mobile payment options, Cash App Pay allows for fast, simple payments directly from customer smartphones. And of course, traditional methods like debit and credit cards, Apple Pay, and Google Pay are also supported for easy contactless payments. Next, let's talk about our hardware and our integration with Jotform. Our hardware is designed to provide flexibility for any business model, any business size, and all of it is built in-house by our team. So whether you're running a large office or a small boutique business, we have devices that should suit your setup. You can see most of our hardware pictured on the right, albeit not all, but I'll run through some highlights on our core hardware offerings. Our Square Reader, which is the small square piece of hardware by which we get our name, works with the free Square point of sale app to let you accept swiped card payments on your phone or tablet. You can get a reader for Magstripe, which allows you to swipe, or a reader for contactless and chip, which allows us for chip or tap to pay payments. Square Handheld is our newest piece of hardware that just launched last month. You can see it right in the middle of this image on the right. It's a slim, portable device with a built-in camera and a built-in barcode scanner designed to take payments, orders, or manage inventory on the move, all from the single point of sale that fits in your pocket. Our Square Terminal, which is all the way over to the right, is a complete point of sale solution with a built-in receipt printer designed to work best from a countertop, although it's still compact and easily movable if needed. It's ideal for businesses with limited counter space or for those who want to bring the payment experience directly to the customer. We've also got our Square Stand, which is the swiveling iPad point of sale. You can slide in a compatible iPad and download the free Square point of sale app to get started. And then our most robust option that offers a fully integrated point of sale is Square Register on the left. It's perfect for businesses that need a powerful yet user-friendly device for handling in-office or retail payments. Our hardware can process payments even if your internet is down. Simply reconnect within 24 hours to ensure your transactions are processed via our offline mode. If you're in healthcare, we also support health savings accounts and flexible savings accounts cards with no special setup necessary. This is a great option for patient flexibility while maintaining provider simplicity. Now to our Jotform integration. So Square's powerful ecosystem is designed to integrate effortlessly with your existing tools. We understand that businesses need more than just a payment processor and that a lot of sellers are using additional tools already. Sellers need a unified system that connects those tools. That's why we offer integrations with platforms like Jotform, allowing you to accept payments via debit cards, credit cards, ACH, Cash App Pay, Afterpay, and more, all directly from your forms. With this integration, you can also save your customers' cards on file and set up subscription payments, which further simplifies your workflow. Square connects all the tools you need, from payments to invoicing, appointments, payroll, and beyond, all within a single system. Security is also built right in. As the merchant of record, we offer PCI compliance, encryption, fraud prevention, risk management, and dispute handling, so you, your data, and your customers are always safe. Alrighty. As a thank you for hopefully choosing Square, when you sign up, you'll receive $5,000 in free payment processing and $20 off of any hardware of your choice. This is our way of showing appreciation for trusting us with your business and your business needs. Go to www.jotform.com/square and click sign up with Square to get started. Alrighty, to summarize, we're here to help your business grow by providing secure, simple, intuitive, and flexible payment solutions. From PCI compliance to handling HSA and FSA cards, no-show deposits, omni-channel integrations, Square and Jotform can ensure that your business can thrive in today's fast-paced, multi-channel environment. No matter where they happen, our goal is to make payments and operations as smooth and streamlined as possible. Thank you so much for choosing Square and for your time. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Morgan for our demo portion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Agatha. Thank you for being here too. I always appreciate having people from outside Jotform on with us because I get to learn too. So I'm sure the audience has learned a lot more about Square as well. I know we have had a number of questions already, and let me just go ahead and share my screen and then I'll talk about a couple of those questions. I did want to see that we have had a few questions come in already about seeing these slides and this recording. So we are recording today and we're trying to get that sent out to you tomorrow. If it doesn't get out to you by tomorrow, it'll be out early next week. So stay tuned for that. And you're always welcome to get in touch with me if you have additional questions. I will share my contact information at the end for that. Another question that we've had come up a bit already is what does this cost? And I know we can talk a little bit more about cost in general in the Q&A, but I did want to clarify that Jotform does not charge any additional fees to use the Square integration or any other integrations. That's included within whatever you're paying to Jotform, and it's also included if you're a free Jotform user. So if you are using the Square integration, you'll pay whatever you're paying to Square. You will pay if you have a paid Jotform account, you'll pay that, but we don't charge any additional fees like a percentage of transactions or a monthly flat fee or anything like that. It's actually one of the reasons that Jotform is such a great solution for many people who want to sell online, especially when it comes to small businesses or nonprofits. Yeah, the rest of the questions, I do see that there are a number of other questions coming in. I don't think there's anything else that I can answer right now very quickly, but we will come back to questions at the end. On that note, I am going to take us into the demo, and I'm starting the demo here logged into my Jotform account and on my workspace. So all I've done at this point is log in. My workspace is where you land when you walk in and when you log in, and it's where you can create any new assets and also where you can manage any assets you've already created. So currently what we see here in the center of the page is a furniture store that I've created. This is actually directly from our template library if it looks like a good example for you and you want to use it. And then we also have a few forms that are associated with that. I'm going to spend the majority of the demo there, but before I do that, I just want to take a step backwards and look at how you would create an app. Now, I know I'm not sure the demographics. I believe most of you here are Jotform users. I don't know if you are already using apps or if you're using forms to collect payments, but you do have both of those options in Jotform. So if you hit the orange create button, again, that will take you to the page where you can create any assets and you can collect money with a form. I'll come back to that in a little bit, but you can also create an app and you can create an app where you're collecting money. So essentially a digital store. So to get started with an app, you can just click app. One of the options is to build a store. So that creates a layout that is optimized for selling products. Another option to get started would be to use one of our templates. There are over 800 app templates available in the app library. Not all of them are for collecting payments, but you can search at the top and you can also browse by category on the side. So one category that would be relevant would be the retail category. If I click on that, we see a number of templates. This is the furniture template I'll be showing. As you hover over, you'll see that you get a better sense of what's included in that template. You can also preview. In the preview, you can even use the QR code here to scan on your own device and pull it up and see what it would look like from a user perspective. If you want to use this template, you can choose Use Template. That will clone a copy of the template into your account. From there, you can customize it however you need. So for example, maybe you really like this design, but you don't sell flowers, you sell jewelry. You can swap out the products, but you still have the general design. Okay, so that's how you would get started. And on that note, let's look at the app that I have created here. I'm going to hit the edit button to pull this up in the app builder. So this is where you'll be, whether you are designing an app from scratch or you are customizing something or changing something you've already created. If you are familiar with Form Builder, you should see that the layout looks very similar to what you're used to. So here on the right, we have design for the app. We can change colors, add or remove or change a background image. There are also additional layout options. So if the current layout isn't quite right for you, you can try something else. If you click along the top here, you'll be able to change a logo or add your own logo, your own branding colors, background information, background image, change the name of the app and more. And then on the left-hand side, just like in the form builder, this is where you'll be able to add any content to your app other than the actual products. The products happen with the payment gateway, which I'll show momentarily. But in this app, we also have a custom furniture request form, an order cancellation form, and a feedback form. All of those come from the add element section. You just take one of your forms and drag and drop it where you want, choose that form and click add form to add it here. Also on this app, we have a number of buttons. Those are here. So again, just drag and drop that and pull up the settings to customize that. That can be visiting a URL, email, call us, and more. Buttons can do that automatically. In this app, we also have a map at the bottom. This can be really useful if you are doing some of that omni-channel selling that Agatha mentioned in her slides. Maybe this is your virtual presence, but you also sell on site and you want to show people where your physical brick and mortar location is. Or maybe in this case, this is a furniture selling app. So maybe this is a map to your warehouse where people need to go to pick up their furniture. Any number of reasons that map could be useful. And then there is also a social follow. That's what this is here. So map and social follow. In addition to that, you can add sign documents. You can add other documents and images, paragraphs to explain part of your app, part of what you want people to know, and more. So that is the general overview of building out the app. But most importantly with the store is your payment gateway and the actual products. So you'll add all of that with the store properties. It's a little credit card icon right underneath the paint roller. Click that to open up the store properties menu. And the first step is to add your payment integration. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to my Square account. This is pretty seamless since I've done it recently. If you have not done this before or haven't done it recently, there might be a few additional steps, but you are walked through the process. So it's very seamless. And now we have settings on this pop-up page here for what we want to do with Square and how we want to collect money. Some of this gets pulled in automatically from Square from whatever your settings are there. So like my business location, over here, you can see this is in US dollars. That currency is tied to my Square account. But otherwise, we have settings here where we can choose whether this is live or test mode. So we're not actually accepting payments. I know we already had a question about being able to save credit card information. So generally speaking, you can't save credit card information in Jotform because of our own compliance, our PCI compliance restrictions, and keeping data safe for you and your customers. But here you do have the option to authorize a card now and charge it manually later within 6 days. So for example, in my furniture selling app, maybe I don't want to actually charge the card until somebody picks up the furniture. I can toggle that on. I can also choose to send a receipt through Square. You also have receipt options in Jotform. And then as Agatha mentioned in the slides, there are multiple different ways that you can actually collect payment when you are using Square. So here I can toggle on whichever of those payment options I want to make available to my customers. So let's say I want customers to have full flexibility here. Apple Pay and Google Pay, Cash App Pay, ACH, and Afterpay all available. I'll just hit save. Now we can see that Square has been added. I can hit this gear widget icon at any time to go back to that menu if I need to make changes of any kind. From here, we'll discard those changes. We have just some additional settings on the payment tab. The product settings tab is where you can actually choose the layout and add products. So if this were a blank app, this is where I would go to add those products in. I can also do that just by clicking on this section of the page. So if this is a new app that you're creating from scratch, you'd see a blank space here where you'd see add new product. In this case, I can customize any of these by hovering over and looking for the pencil icon. The gear widget icon allows me to delete or duplicate that item. So if I customize, I can add images, change the title, change the price, add a description, and more. And I can always add new products as well. And then in addition to that, in product settings, you can change the layout of the actual products. The last tab here is the checkout page. So this is what people see before they make their purchase. This is where you're collecting their contact information. So by default, I have a few fields added here, name, email, and address. I can add additional elements to that if I'd like as well. In addition to the build tab, so the build tab here is where you're going to create the app, and this is very similar to what it's going to look like to your customers. You have some general settings for the app, and then on the Publish tab is where you can go to actually share the app multiple different ways, QR codes, social links, send by email, and embed into your site. I know we had a couple of questions in registration about making things available on WordPress or other sites. So you have an embed code here and a WordPress plugin here. And then also, if I come back here, I can now pull this up in a new tab and see what it looks like to a user. First, they're prompted to save this to their home screen if they would like to. I'm just going to close that out for now. You can see this looks just like what we just created, except without the settings, of course, and then with the addition of the cart over here. So here we can see in the center of the page that I have added two of these wardrobes to my cart. If I click on my cart now, I can go through with making my purchase by hitting continue. Here is where we see that contact page where I have all my contact information included. And then I can proceed to payment, which is where I would enter my payment information. Again, multiple methods to choose from. Any additional settings from here will pop up once the selection is made. So credit card information box pops up. Google Pay, I would just click order. Cash App Pay has me connect to Cash App, etc. So if the transaction isn't completed automatically from here, the customer would just hit order and that would help the transaction process. And again, they're walked through that process. Okay, so that's everything I wanted to show with the app, but as I mentioned, I did want to go into forms as well. A couple of differences between collecting payments in forms and in apps. So apps gives you a bit more flexibility in creating something that looks like a store. You know, you saw in that example that we had some other forms like a cancellation form, a custom order form, feedback form, and more, the map, that sort of thing. You can do some of that with forms, but generally speaking, apps, gives you a little bit more flexibility there. Forms does give you a little bit more flexibility in the fees that you're collecting and the type of payment that you're collecting. So whichever one you choose, that's really up to you and what it is, the reason you're collecting money. But you do have the option of choosing either or. I'm not going to create a full form for the sake of brevity here, but I did just want to show you how that works and talk a little bit about the differences. So we'll start from scratch. And in this case, one of the key differences here is that we don't see the credit card icon over here to add the payment gateway. Instead, we'll see payment gateway in forms under the add element toolbar. There's a tab for payments and Square is right here at the top. So I'll go ahead and drag and drop that. So very similar process. I'll connect again, very similar process from here. And then I will still have some settings pulled in from Square and then other settings that I can choose from here. So it's going to pull in the location and currency, but I can choose what payment options are available, just like we just looked at in apps. One notable difference from here, again, is what the reason you're collecting money. What this is called payment type. So in addition to selling products, you can also collect donations in apps, but here in Forms, you can sell products, you can sell subscriptions. So if you have any reason you need to collect a recurring payment, you want to use Forms for that. You can do a user-defined amount. So that would be something like buy me a coffee, where somebody is giving you however much money they can or want to, and then you can collect donations. And I know that we did have a few questions about people being able to define their own payments. So this would be the best option for that, using user-defined amounts, or if you are collecting donations, you can also collect donations. Each of these have their own unique settings, so it's important to pick the one that best matches whatever it is you're selling. I know that there's not a great match for selling something like services. In that case, you'd probably use products as well and just set up the terms of the products, your services as a product. When it comes to selling products, just to show you again some of those additional charges you could add in Forms, I'm going to hit continue here. And here we'll create the product. This is pretty much what the app looks like before you have products added. So you'll create your product, name it, add the price, add a description and image. You can also add options so people can select multiple of a certain item and stock control. And then general settings here as well. In the forms, you can also add payments, you can add shipping charges, and you can add tax fees as well. And then you have the invoice here, which is very similar to what you see in apps. So again, shipping and tax are currently unique to forms as well. I think that's everything I wanted to show. One other thing that I just want to point out very quickly, it's not going to look like much right now since I don't have any data, but we always get questions about what this looks like after people use the form. And you can always access whatever kind of form you create. You can always access your data in tables. Every form will have a table automatically created and associated with it. And as somebody makes a purchase, their purchase will be added as a row here, and all of the fields from the form appear as a column. So it doesn't look like much here, but this can ultimately become a database of all of the purchases that have come in. You can use this for reporting, records management, and more. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to cover here. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Agatha, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that slide just with the last, I think it was your like third to last slide there, talking about the incentives for new users. And let me stop sharing. There you go. We'll pull that up just so we can have that up during questions. And at this point, thank you. Let me go ahead and pull up some of those questions. And just give me a moment while I skim through some of these. Can we use forms to register for an event? Absolutely. That would be a product. So as long as you're charging like like a flat fee, there's an actual fee associated with it. I would use the product, and then you just set up the terms of the product from there. And I did see a question earlier for Agatha. I saw a few of those. So let me um so Agatha, a couple of questions about charges, and I'm going to let you talk while I look through some of these other questions. Is there a nonprofit rate for Square?
Sure, happy to answer. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific nonprofit rate in our pricing structure. We have consistent pricing structure dependent on the type of sale, whether it's in person or online. We do have the opportunity for folks to qualify for custom lower rates if folks process over $250,000 per year. So there is an avenue for a custom rate. We just unfortunately don't have that predetermined specifically for nonprofits.
Okay, great. Thank you. Um, do you have any information about like where they would go for the custom fee that you mentioned?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. I can certainly follow up with the link, but if you go to squareup.com/sales, you can get in touch with our sales team to be able to engage with them one-on-one. It's a great way, honestly, to get an evaluation of your business when they look at custom rate qualification. But they are more than happy to engage. And that's, again, an open opportunity through our partnership together.
Great, great. Thank you. I do see a couple of questions here that I want to just mention our support team. Somebody has mentioned that people aren't getting email confirmation. So I do want to mention in forms and apps, you can make sure that your Jotform forms include, I'm actually going to share my screen again and pull that up. Um, Let me make sure I pull up the right screen. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Hopefully that works. In your form, sorry, wrong one. If you are looking to send an email confirmation from Jotform in settings and emails, you can add a notification or an autoresponder, or autoresponder is the right one. So that would be an email that goes to the person who fills out the form, and it includes all of the information they've included. you can fully customize this as well. That includes branding, adding or removing fields, adding in additional text. So I would make sure that you have that turned on. That can be, a good way to do sort of a receipt for people. If you do have that turned on and it's not working, I would get in touch with our support team. That is jotform.com/contact. That is 24/7 online support, and somebody will reach out to you. It's typically within like 1 to 2 hours. So definitely recommend that. I did see a number of other questions that also seemed like they would be best for support, uh, just because they're kind of unique use cases. So yeah, definitely again, jotform.com/contact for that. And let me come back. Somebody asking they're a reseller. Can we offer the Square integration? Yes, as far as I know, the Square integration is available to any Jotform users. And then somebody else had asked if you can have multiple payment gateways added in Jotform. And no, you can have one payment gateway per form or per app. But again, many of these, like Square, do offer multiple ways for people to be able to pay. So that is one of the advantages of using Square. Let's see. Um, so Agatha, another question for you. Can you get Jotform Square transactions to be charged to a specific Square inventory item?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, the integration allows for sellers to collect payments. It doesn't support automatic linkage to specific inventory items in your Square item library. So transactions processed through Jotform will appear in Square's transactions slash payments reporting, but they won't automatically decrement inventory counts or associate to item SKUs in Square. That's something that could be managed manually, but isn't automatic via the integration today.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I just talked a little bit about being able to provide receipts in Jotform or some confirmation in Jotform. Can you talk a little bit about what that looks like from Square's end?
Yeah, sure. So this is something that's possible on the Square side as well. So you can control um, receipts sent. I think there was a question around automatic notifications around transactions. That's not necessarily a mechanism that's possible in Dashboard to date. But in addition to receipts to customers, sellers can also adjust settings in their Square dashboard such that you can get daily summary emails or some other type of cadence summary emails to keep up to date kind of on an automatic regular basis around what transactions are happening either within Square or via Jotform and Square.
Great, thank you. Um, and I do see a number of questions asking to compare like this to Shopify and pros and cons of certain other platforms. So I'm not gonna go through all of that today because that can get to be kind of there are a number of those questions, and that is kind of a lot. For those of you who have questions like that, I would be happy to talk to you offline. Feel free to get in touch with me. I'm Morgan at Jotform. That goes for any questions that maybe I'm trying to read through all of them and get to all of them. So any questions that I missed today, or any questions you think of after today's webinar, or if you're looking for resources on the Jotform end, you are welcome to get in touch with me. Also, you are welcome to get in touch with me for Square questions as well, and I'll pass those along to Agatha. So I did just want to mention that. So again, I'm Morgan at Jotform. And again, our support team is jotform.com/contact. And let me just, there was another question I wanted to make sure I answered on the Jotform end. I think it was related to the app I showed with collecting feedback. Is the feedback available as after they purchase? So yeah, there are a number of ways that you can collect feedback. One would be like in the app where there is a feedback form included. So that might be an option. You can also include it if you're creating a form, you can include, certain fields in there as well. Again, if you have specific questions and want to talk through how that might look best for your instance, you're welcome to get in touch with me or support for those. So we can connect more about that. And I do know there was also a question about collecting multiple types of payments. So maybe selling products and collecting donations. And there's not currently like a super easy way to do that in Jotform, but one thing I have seen is maybe you're selling products in an app and you link to a form where people can submit donations in the form or that buy me a coffee, like just whatever, they want to contribute. Those are options as well. So if you are using an app, you have the payment gateway added to your app where maybe you're selling products, but you can also link to other forms as well and collect additional types of payments in there. Um, I did see that there's somebody else mentioning people not getting the confirmation emails with Gmail. So I'm not sure about that. Looks like you've already contacted support. So for that, I will absolutely share that feedback with our team and let them know. Maybe we'll have a solution in the near future for you for that. But again, reaching out to me also goes for any questions that any feedback you want to share with the team as well. I'm happy to do that. Is there a way to do partial payment? Um, I'm not, I would get in touch with support about that one. I'm not sure about the best way to do that on Jotform's end. And I know a lot about the product, but support knows far more about ins and outs and workarounds and everything that you can do. So I definitely get in touch with support to see if there are options for you there. I think I've covered, I know I haven't covered all of the questions. Again, I mentioned some of them are probably better for support. So if you have specific use cases and haven't already connected with support, I would connect with support about those. And again, you're welcome to reach out to me after today's session. Um, with any follow-up questions that we didn't get to or that you still have outstanding after this. And I know that the demo that I gave was pretty condensed. I'm also happy to share additional resources. Once again, I want to mention that we are recording today. We will send this out hopefully tomorrow. If not by tomorrow, it'll go out within the next couple of business days. So you will have the link to this recording with all of the information Agatha shared, as well as the demo. And yeah, please feel free to, again, to reach out to me and be happy to hear from any of you with follow-ups. Again, that is morgan@jotform.com. Finally, oh, there is a question about sale items. So if you're using forms, there is an option to add a coupon code in there. So then you can share that coupon code. So that will be when you add the payment gateway, there is an option for adding in coupons. Last question I saw that I was able to answer pretty quickly. I want to thank Agatha again. Thank you so much for being here today. And thanks to the Square team for partnering with us. And again, thank you to everyone on the line. Happy to hear from you. Happy to have you here today and to hear from you after this. And hopefully we'll see you soon at a future webinar. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Morgan.